What an absolutely beautiful day. It is just, we have had a change and shift in our weather the last 4 or 5 days. There for a while it was so that hot you couldn't hardly stand to even get outside. It was humid and you'd be outside 2 or 3 minutes and you'd just be covered in sweat. But today and the last few days have been a lot different. High today is going to be maybe 80, it's going to be 79, 80 degrees I think. Low tonight's going to be somewhere in the mid 50s. Should be an absolutely perfect camping trip. That's what we're doing today. We're on Barren River Lake again, and I'm doing my very first overnight canoe trip of the season. And if you caught my last video, you know that this has been a rough season. I just have not been able to get out for one reason or another. I'll kind of talk about that in that other video. But boy, I tell you, today is sure making up for it. Got a little bit of a breeze, a little bit of a headwind, but it ain't much. It's not enough to bother me. Actually, that sun's still kind of hot, but it's still, that wind kind of cools you off some. So anyway, we're going to talk about canoe camping. We're going to talk about maybe canoe fishing a little bit. I'm going to show you my gear, show you what I do and what I don't do. We'll get around to that here after a while. But thank you, and thanks for coming along with me. I think we're going to have a good time. We'll see you then. We'll see you here in just a little bit. Slept some. I never sleep well when I'm out like this, especially the first night. But I'm not sure what time it is, but a little bit of fog on the lake. And the sun is just creeping over the ridge behind me. Just kind of poking through. Far ridge over there. I'm gonna build a fire here in a little bit and get some breakfast going. Beautiful morning. It's crisp. Stayed fairly warm. I had, plenty of blankets and stuff. But I had a visitor last night that I didn't know about, and find these prints here. Yeah, here he is. See those down there? Weren't there yesterday. Not sure where they ended up. He may have jumped up on here and taken off that way, but I never heard him. I'm not sure what time it was, but pretty good sized prints. I don't know if that's a coyote or something else. I'll have to look them up and see what I can figure out. But anyway, it's really been a delightful trip so far. I'm wearing my, see it or not, wearing my new shirt that I made last winter. It's a Voyager shirt, and it's made out of thick material. Actually, it looks, I didn't do too bad a job on it, considering I did it. But anyway, we're going to get some breakfast going here in a minute and get this day going. Burned off. It's a nice, peaceful, still morning. It's going to be another really nice day. I don't know what temperature it is, but it's probably upper 60s at the moment. And got everything pretty well packed. I usually take a quick walk through just to make sure I didn't forget anything. Well, let's talk a little bit about canoe camping. Canoe camping can be one of the most enjoyable, relaxing, fun things a person can do. It depends a lot on your region and where you are, what's the availability of things. I just happen to be in a place where I've got access to this beautiful lake. It doesn't take me but about 30 minutes or so to get there. So, but canoe camping is, I approach it in a way a lot like backpacking with a little bit extra. I try to keep things to a minimum. It depends on what the expected weather is. It depends on how much, if you have to do any kind of portaging or portaging, as I think it's pronounced. You know, if you don't have to carry your gear more than just a few yards from the lake, then you can take a few extra things to kind of make your life a little more comfortable. One of those is like an ice chest. I don't typically like taking an ice chest. Okay, I think they're way overrated. And but I got this cheap little styrofoam one. Like even this time of year, it's late August. We've been having a little bit cooler weather, but it's still hot during the day, and I like having an evening meal where I can actually cook something, like a steak or hamburgers or something like that. And then I like having a good hearty breakfast the next morning, like bacon and eggs or something along those lines. And so those things need to stay cool. I usually freeze any kind of meat ahead of time. By the time I'm ready to use them, they're thawed out. So, and I'll put water in there. I'll put some extra drinks in there and things like that, just to kind of make life a little bit more easier and fun. But by no means are they necessary. You can get by without that. If I had to do any cross-country portaging, I definitely would not take one. I would change my approach to this. Gear-wise, I keep it to a very minimum. I have a tarp. Sometimes we use a tent, but I like using a tarp. I have a ground cloth, which is just a piece of plastic. I have one of those thermarest pads, which is this guy right here. It used to be self-inflating, but this one you have to kind of blow up because it's so old, but it still works. And it depends again on the weather, whether I take a sleeping bag or just some type of a bedroll or something. On this particular trip, I just brought a bedroll, and it worked fine. I think it got down into the 50s last night. And I was perfectly comfortable and fine with it. So anyway, cooking gear, again, keep that to a minimum. I usually on one of these kind of trips, I'll take a cast iron skillet with me, and I definitely would not take one if I had to carry stuff for any distance. Definitely would not take one if I was backpacking. Then you got your canoe gear, you got your life jacket or some kind of little throwable pad that can be used as a seat cushion, something to sit on. Paddles, extra. I usually use a double paddle, so I bring an extra single paddle. Fishing gear, all that kind of stuff. Just typical things like that. Again, I keep my gear to as much a minimum as I can, and still retain a certain element of safety and comfort when I'm doing this. Packing a canoe, again, it depends on what you're doing, who you are. If you're going tandem, like two people in a canoe, you put all your gear in the middle. If you're by yourself, it's just common sense. You put all the heavy stuff forward, as far forward as you can get it. The one that holds the front end down, the canoe tracks better, it's less affected by the wind and things like that. So, that's just sort of a quick overview. My canoe is an old town camper model. I've had it for over 20 years. They don't make this model anymore. It's perfect for flat water canoeing like this. Although I have used it on running water, moving water, and it works fine in that regard too. It has some little quirky things about it, but once you understand that, then you can deal with it. But this morning I got up, as I anticipated, there was fog on the lake. There was some ospreys flying around, herons flying around. It was nice and peaceful. There were at that time there were no other boats on the lake, and it was just me and a fireplace. I got up, fixed a fire, made breakfast, and pack everything. So that's kind of where I am right now, and I'm going to be packing things up here. Got a little bit more to do. I'm not ready quite to leave. It's almost 9 o'clock, so I'll be taking out here in another 15-20 minutes or so. Anyway, we're going to do a little more talking, a little more paddling here in just a little bit. Trip has been not only just a canoeing camping trip, using it as a photo outing. I haven't done as much photography this year as I need to do, and I just missed probably the best shot of the day. And there was a motorboat that came by. There was a right here a little bit. Right here in front of me, of course I was out a little ways, there was a heron standing on the edge of that point right there, right in front of me, and it was backlit by the sun, and I was probably 50 yards farther back from where I am now, a little bit farther down the lake, and I said, man, that's going to be the shot of the day right there. And I did quick paddling, and going to pull my camera out. About that time, this motorboat comes buzzing by right behind me, and the noise, just time I got my camera up, the noise from that motorboat spooked that heron and flew off. I missed the shot. But I don't know, there'll be others. Anyway, I'm going to do a little fishing along here, and I might catch something. Amazed at how much water gets inside this canoe. Kind of leaves me to think it might have a leak. I just can't imagine this much water getting in here just dripping off the paddles. Maybe it does, I don't know. But we're probably a little over halfway home. We're probably almost 2/3 of the way back to the takeout. And so really, it's one of the neater bluffs around here. I've fished this one several times. I've been fishing it here as we're looking along. I'm just kind of meandering along at the moment. Just think about it. This lake earlier in the year was about 38 feet above its normal level, and that rock wall there is probably about 30 feet high. So it was probably a good 6 to 8 feet above the top of that bluff right there. It's in front of us. Higher than that's how much water was in this lake. It's back down to its normal level now. Probably in another month or so they're going to draw it down to its winter cool level, or start drawing it down. They'll take it down another 20, maybe 25 feet below where it is now. So, anyway, it's this is one of my favorite bluffs. I love paddling along in here. It's just I just like the looks of it. I like the way the point is out there in front of us. I've caught some good fish along in here the last couple of seasons. So far it's been a very relaxing, non-hurried morning. I'm not in no hurry at all. Meandering along. gorgeous day. Light winds. I'm not sure what the temperature is right now. It's probably in the mid to upper 70s at the moment. Very delightful day. It's been a fun overnight trip. Some beautiful fog this morning on the lake. I made this trip more of a photo trip than a fishing trip. I did fish one little tiny bass. Just didn't count pretty much. But I think I got some good photos this time around. I've been needing to get out and do something like that for quite a while. But we're about a half a mile or so from the Jeep, and so we're going to be winding this up pretty soon. Coming along here next to these last little stretch of bluffs. It's been a great trip. I hope you guys enjoyed this trip as much as I have. We'll be out here again sometime on Kentucky's Barren River Lake, beautiful Barren River Lake. It's a great place to canoe, it's a great place to camp, it's a great place to fish, a great place to find some amazing photo opportunities as well. So, thank you guys again for joining me. We're going to see you out there, I hope. Make a comment if you enjoyed it. Hit subscribe and all those things, that everybody asks you to do. So, thanks for coming along.